The siege of Baghdad took place in early 1258 at Baghdad, the historic capital of the Abbasid Caliphate. After a series of provocations from its ruler, Caliph al-Musta'sim, a large army under Hulegu, a prince of the Mongol Empire, attacked the city. Within a few weeks, Baghdad fell and was sacked by the Mongol army. Al-Musta'sim was killed alongside hundreds of thousands of his subjects. The city's fall has traditionally been seen as marking the end of the Islamic Golden Age. In reality, its ramifications are uncertain. After the accession of his brother Möngke Khan to the Mongol throne in 1251, Hulegu, a grandson of Genghis Khan, was dispatched westwards to Persia to secure the region. His massive army of over 138,000 men took years to reach the region, but then quickly attacked and overpowered the Nizari Ismaili Assassins in 1256. The Mongols had expected al-Musta'sim to provide reinforcements for their army. The Caliph's failure to do so, combined with his arrogance in negotiations, convinced Hulegu to overthrow him in late 1257. Invading Mesopotamia from all sides, the Mongol army soon approached Baghdad, routing a sortie on the 17th of January 1258 by flooding their camp. They then invested Baghdad, which was left with around 30,000 troops. The assault began at the end of January. Mongol siege engines breached Baghdad's fortifications within a couple of days, and Hulegu's highly trained troops controlled the eastern wall by the 4th of February. The increasingly desperate al-Musta'sim frantically tried to negotiate, but Hulegu was intent on total victory, even killing soldiers who attempted to surrender. The Caliph eventually surrendered the city on the 10th of February, and the Mongols began looting 3 days later. The total number of people who died is unknown, as it was likely increased by subsequent epidemics. Hulegu later estimated the total at around 200,000. After calling an amnesty for the pillaging on the 20th of February, Hulegu executed the Caliph. In contrast to the exaggerations of later Muslim historians, Baghdad prospered under Hulegu's Ilkhanate, although it did decline in comparison to the new capital, Tabriz. Baghdad was founded in 762 by al-Mansur, the second caliph of the Abbasid dynasty, which had recently overthrown the empire of the Umayyads. Al-Mansur believed that the new Abbasid Caliphate needed a new capital city, located away from potential threats and near the dynasty's power base in Persia. Incredibly wealthy due to the trade routes and taxes it controlled, Baghdad quickly became a world city and the epicenter of the Islamic Golden Age. Poets, writers, scientists, philosophers, musicians, and scholars of every type thrived in the city, containing centers of learning like the House of Wisdom and astronomical observatories, which used the newly arrived technology of paper and the gathering of the teachings of antiquity from all Eurasia. Baghdad was the intellectual capital of the planet. In the words of the historian Justin Morozi, during the 10th century, the Abbasids gradually decreased in power. This culminated in Baghdad being occupied, first by the Buyids in 945 and then the Seljuks in 1055, by which time the caliphs had only local authority. They focused their attentions on Baghdad itself, which retained its position as one of the preeminent cities of the world. It was joined only by Kaifeng and Hangzhou in having over 1 million inhabitants between 1000 and 1200. The Caliphate re-emerged as a significant power under al-Nasir, 1180 to 1225, who saw off threats from the last Seljuk rulers and their successors, the Khwarezmians. Muhammad II of Khwarezm's 1217 invasion of the Abbasids failed, and his realm was soon invaded by the armies of Genghis Khan, first ruler of the Mongol Empire. After the Mongol invasion of the Khwarezmian Empire ended in late 1221, they did not return to the region until 1230. In that year, Khan, a leading general under Genghis' successor Ogedei Khan, arrived in Azerbaijan to eliminate the Khwarezmian Prince Jalal al-Din, who was killed the following year. Thereafter, Khan began to establish Mongol hegemony in northwestern Iran and the Transcaucasus. After they captured Isfahan in 1236, the Mongols began to test caliphal authority in Mesopotamia, besieging Erbil in 1237 and raiding up to the walls of Baghdad itself the following year. Khan and his 1241 replacement Baiju thereafter raided the region nearly every year. Although Mongol rule was secured elsewhere in the Near East, their victory at the 1243 Battle of Qusay Dag reduced the Seljuk Sultanate of Rum to a client state. Baghdad remained unconquered, and even defeated a Mongol force in 1245. Another problem was the secretive Nizari Ismaili state, also known as the Order of Assassins, in the Elburz Mountains. They had killed Mongol commanders during the 1240s, and had allegedly dispatched 400 assassins to the Mongol capital Karakorum to kill the Khan himself.